Hey guys, I'm Melissa with Sentimental Salvage and Design, and I have been searching through some old footage, some old video footage, and I found a tutorial on molds on plastic skulls. So this footage was filmed in August of 2019. So it's old. I didn't need these back then, but I hope you learned something from this video, and it's about 10 minutes and it just kind of gives you the basics, and I will show you the finished project at the end, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, fire away with your questions. Just pop them in the comments. I'm happy to help. I'm making molds. Well, castings using molds. They're just plain old plastic skulls. Little articulated jaw here. These ones I got at Value Village. We're putting some molds on them to make them kind of prettier. So that, well, yeah, pretty skulls. I'm just making them out of the air dry clay, the IOD air dry clay. Super soft and squishy. So I've done these ones already and they're glued on, and I just use, this is the glue I use. It works awesome, dries fast. So it works. But I just put it in one of these teeny weeny little squirt bottle things. You get them at the dollar store. And it just makes it a little bit easier to get it on there than lugging around. My hands are small, so these big bottles kind of are tough. So now I'm just going to decide what else I want to do for a mold. And I think, because I've done these ones right here are from the Sea Sisters mold, which is this one. And I just made castings out of these two, just kind of little scrolly bits. So, and I put those kind of like eyebrows, I guess. It kind of just gives it a little bit. And I kind of wanted to do something on the bottom part of the eye. If you can see that. Can you see that down there? On this part down here. This is just cornstarch, just plain old cornstarch from Walmart. And you just brush it in. You don't need a lot, just get it in there. I do both at the same time. If I'm going to be doing two, like mirror image castings, I'll do both at the same time. Just make sure you really get the cornstarch in all the little bits. And then you just bang it out like that, just to get any of the major excess out. And you can see that it's right on in there now. You see that? Okay, so now you take out your little glob of clay. And the trick to this clay is just take out a bit that you'll need. Keep your bag closed, fold it over, whatever, out of the, I got too much there. So you don't need to play with it. It's really squishy. See how soft it is? You don't need to play with it. If you play with it too much, you just don't need to. I don't know if you can see this well, but you just push it on there, and I just press it in with the base of my thumb. I just push it on the mold. And these molds have these handy dandy little rims. Just push it in there, and it's easier if you just kind of push and slide to the outside of your mold. If you just try to push, like push straight down and lift up, you'll pull your product out, which isn't fun. It's frustrating. So then I just take, actually I'm gonna put the other one in there too. Pushing it in. Just push and kind of slide to the outside edge of the mold, and that handy rim that's on there will hold in your product. I don't have quite enough. Actually, I probably will. Spatula, just a plain old normal putty knife, the cheapy ones from Home Depot. This is 1.5 inches, I think. They work. This is good for smaller size molds. And what I do is I start halfway in the mold and I just pull back slowly, evenly. You don't have to press super hard. And it helps kind of make sure you get all your clay in every little crevice. And see, now I got that little bit that sticks to the, and I'll just use it here. I'm still gonna need more though. Okay, and same thing with this one. Halfway point and pull just with like steady, even pressure. This is just the little bits that come off on the spatula, and I'm just gonna put it back. Don't want to waste any of my little goodness. Okay, now you can see how there's this little micro rim around the edge? That gives you a really good, so you get a nice level casting, so it's easy to glue on. And it really just, it shows it a lot easier. That's one of the new improvements they made on the molds. They all have them now. And then just put it upside down. Sometimes it helps if you just have a little bit. It's like baking pie. Make sure you have some, making pie crust. Make sure you have some cornstarch on your table. And you just pry it out. And it just, as you curve the silicone mold, it just pops out. This one's sticking a little bit better, so I'm going to help it a bit. There we go. There. So now they are both out. And see? Pretty little castings. Now I just flip them over. They're pretty, I mean, they're fragile. They're easy to dent and make fingerprints in. And I'm just gonna squeeze a little line of glue on here. And then this is just a little wooden coffee stir stick, also from the dollar store is the best place to shop for supplies like this. All these little odds and ends that you need, go to the dollar stores. I like to get the glue all the way a nice flat. I think I just spat on it. Anyways, lives with me, spit on things. Get a nice flat layer of the glue. Make sure it's on all your edges, because then it's easy to get your edges down. Okay. Now, I think we're going to go with the wider. This edge is a little bit wider. And I want to kind of put that down on the cheekbone. Okay, let's move this so you can see it a little bit better. And the molds right now are still, or the castings, I guess, are still, they're pliable because they're clay. So you want to kind of, because I'm doing the exact same thing on the other side. So I want to make sure I'm not crossing over that midline when you want to keep it symmetrical. So, and just lightly push down on your edges, make sure it's all down, and you'll see here, I gotta find a place to hang on to this. I'm gonna push it down here, and that's kind of lifted up a bit, but there's still gonna be an edge where it's not attached to anything. Can you see that? And same with down here. It's got this little free edge, but that's okay. Once it dries, it's gonna be rigid. It's not gonna hurt anything. They're not toys, so it's not like you're going to be tossing it around or anything, or hopefully not. And the extra glue doesn't really matter because I'm going to paint it, so you won't even see any of that. Okay, and now same thing for the other side. Just spreading out the glue. Okay, and now this one will go on the other side. And now you can see these molds are identical, but the skull is not symmetrical. So you're gonna have to play with it a little bit to make it look. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just me being picky about some stuff. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think that looks kind of cool, or it's starting to look kind of cool. Adds a little bit, and then just picture it painted a solid color, probably. I might do this one with a black and then like a white wax to get all into those little crevices and really make these molds stand out. It's gonna look pretty awesome. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. They're really simple, they're really easy. There's no real right and wrong way to apply them. They're already starting to form a little bit of a crust, so it's going to be perfect to paint. Every once in a while, I just kind of go over it and make sure, because you are forming the mold to something that's not flat. So in those places where I want to make sure it's adhering to the skull, I just kind of go over and make sure it's staying down. As it dries, it shrinks a tiny wee bit, this clay, but nothing major. And you might get the odd little crack, but in this case, it's going to make it look really, really awesome.
A few moments later.
There we go. So that's it. I'm not going to put any more. I don't think. I might. It might be a lie. I might put something little right on the side of the mandible right there. Just something little. I don't know what. Anyways. So that's it. So, plain old pumpkin, goodness, plain old skull, just plastic, cheapy skull, and it's a lot heavier now with all this clay on it, but it looks so much cooler. I'm gonna give this guy a coat of paint now and wax it to show the detail in all these molds, and I think it's going to be pretty neat looking. So if you guys have any questions, or if you're watching this in the replay and you have any questions, just comment and I will get your answers to you. If you want any of the molds or the clay or any of the other IOD products, I have them all in stock. They're all on my website, sentimentalsalvage.ca. Just click the shop button and there's all the things. So everything's on there, and I ship nationwide, so it's good. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. So I ended up painting this beauty with DIY Paint's little black dress, and I used DIY Paint's white wax. It just accentuated the whole thing. I love how it turned out.